Say hi, Polo. Hey. Polo says hi. Oh, it's so fluffy. Hey everyone, it's Jamie. This week's video may sound like a bit of a strange topic for some people, and honestly, if you told me like 5 years ago, maybe even 2 or 3 years ago, that I would be making a video or even be able to find multiple positive things about being trans, then I wouldn't have believed you. And that's because earlier on in my transition, everything just seemed really hard and really far away and just difficult, and dealing with that while still feeling incredibly uncomfortable with myself was just something I found very tough. So it was hard to find or even think about looking for any positives in a situation that just seemed so negative. But the further along in my transition I've gotten, and particularly since having top surgery, the more positives I can see. Of course there are hard things, and I'm really not trying to brush over them or ignore them. I just really wanted to make a video that concentrated on the good things. So here are just some of my main big positives that have happened because I'm trans. Number 1, my girlfriend. She has to be number 1 on this list because Shaba is the best thing that's happened. So when Shaba and I met, we were 16 and in college. That's different to university. So college in the UK is like the last 2 years of high school type age in America. We're not just really clever. And at the time, I was still living as female. Shaba wasn't allowed to be friends with boys and actively only tried to make friends with girls, and could only hang out with kind of female groups and female friends in social situations and go around the houses of female friends and everything like that. So this is something that both of us have talked about and agreed that had I not been trans and I was a cis guy, if we had met, we wouldn't have become close friends, or maybe we wouldn't have even become friends at all, because the situations where we really did become good friends were situations that Shaba wouldn't have been able to be in. Number 2, life perspective. So I do feel really grateful for being able to see life from a slightly different So I do feel really grateful that being trans has made me see life from a slightly different perspective, and in my opinion has made me a better person because of it. I'm not trying to sound big-headed, I just feel like it's really shaped me as a person in a lot of positive ways. I have no idea what kind of person I would be like if I weren't trans, but what I do know is that being trans and the experience of it has taught me a lot of lessons, and this combined with the different perspective it's given me really kind of comes together and leads to being trans having a lot of positive influences on who I am as a person. Number 3, seeing the best in people. This one can absolutely work the other way. It definitely can. I did see the worst of people as well, but when I came out, I really focused on the people who stood by me and were really accepting and supportive, and it showed me just how amazing people can be. It made me feel very lucky to know that I had those people in my life, and also just seeing how great people can be sometimes. It also did show me to never give up hope on people, so people who seemed like they would never be accepting and it was just a really difficult situation and everything like that, to just give them time and maybe a little bit of education in there as well. It can really make the world of difference, and seriously, the people who seem like they will never accept can one day be accepting. Number 4, making friends and doing fun things. Didn't know what to call that one. So being part of the online community in particular, but also doing stuff offline, has really helped me connect with a lot of really awesome people and have the opportunity to take part in some amazing things, all of which I'm so grateful for. I've had the chance to take part in some really awesome things that never would have happened if I weren't trans, and just kind of like memories for life type events. And I've had the chance to connect with a lot of really awesome people, and none of that would have happened. Number 5, my future. My whole PhD and postgraduate education is really heavily influenced by me being trans. My PhD research is completely motivated by my experiences of being trans, and I can't tell if I would have found another topic that I was equally as passionate about, but what I do know for sure is that I am doing my PhD now based on my experience of being trans, and I can't for sure say if I would still be in that position if I weren't trans and hadn't had that experience and that kind of, I don't know what it's called, influence? Yeah, so that's why it's on that list. It's gonna be a tough but good 3 years. Number 6, puberty is exciting. The second time. Yes, you need to go through it twice, and yes, the first time is not so great. The second one can also be very delayed, highly stressful, and a little bit difficult to achieve. My voice is breaking all over the place today. I don't know if you can hear it. But once I got there and started testosterone, had top surgery, it was the biggest relief of my life. And it was so exciting to see all these changes happen, because it was like they were almost wiping away the bad changes that had happened the first time around. Pretty much, most of them. It wasn't just growing up, it was growing into myself and being more comfortable with myself, and just that was a very happy and exciting thing happening in my life. And I know that it wouldn't have even had to happen if I weren't trans in the first place, but that's just a technicality. And finally, number 7. It's had these positive influences on my life without holding me back. There was a time in my life when I was completely obsessed, and every waking moment was just consumed by thoughts of being trans and my transition and what I was gonna do, and just being scared and just and it really was a battle to keep myself concentrated on my A-levels. I was very distracted. But with the start of my exciting second puberty, I was able to see that being trans is just another way of being that comes with its own set of good and bad things. Being trans also hasn't stopped me from achieving the things in my life that I want to achieve, and in fact it's heavily connected to some of my best achievements so far. This one might sound like a bit of a weird positive, so it can be more of like a summary point, I guess. But basically all the positives on this list, and all the smaller positives that I just can't remember right now, they far outweigh any negatives that being trans has had on my life, and completely make up for the difficult period in the beginning. So yeah, those are just some of my positives, and it really did take me a very long time to appreciate them and even realize that they were there, and that some of these great things in my life wouldn't have happened, wouldn't be present if I weren't trans. To some people watching, it may seem like some of my positives are a little bit of a stretch, but really it all comes down to the fact that if I weren't trans, I wouldn't be the person I am today, and I wouldn't be in the situation I am in today. Both of which I'm very happy with and like, for the most part anyway. I know how hard things can seem, and I know how hard it can be, particularly in the beginning, but it's really not all bad forever. Anyway, that's everything I have today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you next time. Bye!